Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Trash Talk. I'm here with a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Carl Lucas. I've been on the platform for longer than 3 years, but my main channel has been on here for 3 years. I've recently had a big video called "Is PB the Secret Riddle of Adventure Time?" Ever since then, I'm trying to gear my content towards Adventure Time and cartoons. So yeah, that's me.
Well,
That's what I'm doing.
jumping straight into it. Obviously, your most popular video has over 300,000 views. When you were
Yes.
making that video, what did you expect, and why did you make that video?
Okay, so backstory. I was talking with a friend about how fucked up things happen in Adventure Time, and then we were talking about this one princess called Princess Bubblegum. And he started talking about what she does, and I couldn't remember really because I haven't watched the show for a really long time. And we came to the conclusion, oh shit, she does some heinous shit. She does really fucked up stuff. So I went in, watched all the 200 episodes she appears in, and found more. Like the more I've watched her do things, the more fucked up she became. And I found out other people had made similar videos, but not as precise or not as clear, more like rants. And so I made that, and I thought, okay, it's not going to go anywhere. I got told the thumbnail sucked, the title sucked, it was too long, I had no jokes. So I was told it was going to flop, and it did. And then 5 months later, it just randomly picks up and just starts growing. I got monetized from that video, and it paid for 2 months rent. So that was good. That felt really good.
Yeah. You've just said basically that it wasn't an instant success and it took a while. So, how badly, when you say it flopped, how badly did it do, like, when you first dropped it?
I can look it up, but as far as I remember, it was the one video that I thought, okay, I cannot cover any cartoons. That's why I switched to something else. It flopped hard. It flopped really hard. Because at that point as well, I realized that doing indie games or covering indie games is not gonna get anywhere, because indie games is not the genre, right? It's not like it's a horror genre or action genre, shooter genre. It's more like this overarching term for everything that is developed from independent developers. So it's really hard to get people following you if you cover like a gigantic area of games. A shooter guy is not gonna be interested in a RPG. RPG guy is not going to be interested in a real-time strategy game. A real-time strategy guy is not going to be interested in card games. So it became kind of difficult to even get people to watch my content. So I said, okay, I'm going to try something else out. And I made experiments with, first was the PB video, but then I made something about the MCU, which also flopped. About like a show called Motherland, which is about witches, and I tried it out. And then after I made a few videos, the PB video picked up, and then I tried to focus on that.
And well, I'm just looking at your channel right now, and it seems like the Adventure Time videos are still picking up, with some of them getting anywhere between 12 and 41,000 views of recent. So are you trying to go into the direction of doing an Adventure Time video semi-regularly?
Yeah, so I talk to several different people, and I have someone that I talk regularly about where to go with stuff with the channel. And we initially came up with the idea, what if we do like a structure on the channel where you basically have A, B, C, D, and that's how you upload. A would mean Adventure Time, B would mean something else, D would mean something else, and C. But then I realized I did that already with Samurai Jack. I tried to cover Samurai Jack, and every consecutive upload got less and less view, and nobody was interested. So what I came up with is the one Adventure Time video, the one video that is for me. One Adventure Time video, one is for me. So basically trying to balance it out, things, because if I did every week Adventure Time, that will be very tiring. So I came up with the A-B structure where I have one, and two. And then I'm also trying to figure out what people actually want to see, because while I made, for example, the Lost Adventure Time games is about games and not about Adventure Time itself, and that did comparable to the others not that well. So it seems that people only want to see specific types of Adventure Time videos. So I'm trying to drill down, what do people want to see right now.
Well, obviously, like I haven't like watched all of your videos or whatever, but I am just taking a general look over, and it does seem to be like the almost sort of like conspiracy sort of titles and thumbnails that
Yeah,
seem to be really doing well. And with like the success of some of your videos and like the one about the Ice King and stuff, is that where you're
yeah.
really going? Like doing them sort of videos where you sort of like take a deep dive into stuff?
Yeah, so my next two videos, because I had different ideas, but I dropped all of them, and I said, okay, let's try to figure this out. The next
Hmm.
video is gonna be about lemon grab, and there's this for years now, or somehow he got the label autistic attached to him
Hmm.
because of his certain behaviors.
Yeah.
And there is certain symptoms he certainly shows. But I try to dive down: is he actually autistic? So that would
Hmm.
be like one of those conspiracy titles: is Lemon Grab actually autistic? I trying to dive into that, and then if that one turns out well, I'm going to focus on the similar type of video, but for a different show. So now
Hmm.
people already saw that I made something about the DC universe, or Justice League and Marvel. So people know that I do that already. I want to take one of my favorite movies, which is The Dark Knight Returns,
Yeah.
the cartoon one, and make a similar conspiratorial video about that Batman. Because
Hmm.
what Frank Miller tried to do with that character is that it was almost like a parody of the family friendly hero at the time, and
Yeah.
it goes really really dark, and he kind of becomes like an underground dictator, because at the end of the movie, spoilers by the way, at the end of the movie, he kind of makes his own army
Yeah.
preparing to take over Gotham, which is like, oh, so you're becoming a dictator. You're becoming a
Yeah. Yeah.
fascist, right?
So, like, I'm assuming you obviously, of course, have sort of like a passion for. It seems a lot more like cartoons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is that something you've always been into in some capacity?
So I grew up in Brazil. I was born in Brazil. I grew up in Brazil, and there we had always these like afternoon blocks and in
Hmm.
morning blocks where you had a bunch of cartoons, of course, all American. So Justice League, some Marvel shows, which probably nobody knows about. Then of course Brazilian cartoons, but like all the American superhero stuff was there. It was big. I think Spider-Man might be the biggest superhero in Brazil.
Hmm.
And after I moved to Germany, I didn't have much access because in Germany you have less of that stuff. You have more like local stuff, local
Yeah.
animation, and also French animation. One of the shows called Galactic Football. But I always was watching something, be it cartoons or anime. When I
Hmm.
was around 14 to 18, I watched a lot of anime. I don't watch that anymore because some stuff just creeps me out.
Yeah.
Especially the lolly stuff, for example.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I feel weird recommending anything to people because like, oh, there is a lolly. Like I can't recommend this to you. You know. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, anime stuff, other things. But I always watch animation. I was thought about the worlds of about these worlds deeper than the average person, you could say. Most people
Yeah.
just watch it and enjoy it. I like to like delve into it and figure out, okay, how does it work? How the power system works? I watched a lot of power scaling videos when I was younger. I don't do
Hmm.
that much anymore. But yeah, like in general, I was always cartoon centric, anime centric. I call anime also Japanese cartoons just to piss people off.
Yeah. The amount of people on Twitter that will probably get angry over that is going to be funny. So,
Yeah.
and like obviously with all that, now you can make money off of like things
Yeah.
you enjoy and stuff. But obviously you're doing this thing where you want to go on to 100 podcasts. Can you
Yes.
just take everyone over that because it's such like a bizarre and random thing to do?
So my idea is twofolded. One, I want to do it because I already had this idea before.
Hmm.
But it was difficult to like get a random person on podcast, and now I have like, you could say I have something that I can show off.
Yeah.
So people are more interested. And the second thing is like I I want to make a video at the end of the experiment, if I do it or not, right? If I manage to do it or not. because on my channel I like to every now and again do some like random video that is about like YouTube in general or YouTube centric. If you go through my catalog, I think the last one was about Moist Critical. Yeah, the last one was about Moist Critical. So I like to take one thing and like make a video about specifically YouTube. So it's like a YouTube video for other YouTubers as well. And the 100 podcast challenge came from like, okay, so there's this 100 days challenge in Minecraft, which the Beak, you might know. He tortures me by showing bad content. I'm kind of like his research partner sometimes. And he tortures me with bad content. And one of those bad contents was 100-day Minecraft challenge that are mostly fake. So like that idea sparked the idea again. Okay, I want to do this. And 100 is like it's like a good number. And my end goal is to be known as the guy that appears on a Fact on a podcast. So I don't even need to ask anymore, and people come to me and getting my name out there, because I have a lot of frustration right now when it comes to like content creation, because it feels like I prove myself over and over again. As you said, like some of those videos did really well, but it always feels like I'm being pushed down. So maybe it's me, maybe the topics are really, really bad, nobody cares. I'm trying to find that out, and you try to do anything to get attention. It's an attention market, right? Everything is about attention. You want to get attention from people. You want to be known by people. And the more people hear your name, your voice, and know about you, the more likely they are to search actively for you. And a hidden thing people don't know, if things are searched, like if the algorithm picks up that names or video names are being searched, it's put somehow it starts getting recommended. So that's the basic idea behind all of this. It's like threefolded. One, I want to do it. Two, it's good for like marketing. Three, the Beak tortured me, so I have this idea in my head.
Well, I guess it's a great way to grow, because like if you do manage to even get on half as many podcasts, like you'll get your name out there, you'll still get something out of it. Like everyone's sort of a win-win situation here, and you get a video and stuff. If you don't mind me asking, how many podcasts have you actually been on so far?
So I've been on the Krillcast, which we go way back. When I started my channel, we became kind of like co-workers, kind of. You could say co-workers, right? Appeared very early on when my videos were shit. I mean, they're still not that great, but like when they're worse. And from then on, we talked, and like in the background, we talked sometimes. We kind of like made this small little group called Hidden Vectors, which blew up, not blew up, like which like blew up internally, because there was no goal in mind together. Like there was no cohesive idea of what we wanted to do with it. So everyone went their separate ways. I still talk to some of the members. But then I recently appeared again on the podcast after like a year or so, just to talk about things. Then of course big chat from Heflemeyer. Heflemeyer is, I don't even know where I know Heflemeyer from, but he reminds me of me when I was doing random stuff on YouTube. And one thing about me, I like amateurish stuff. I search out for channels that are smaller and do maybe something that is unique. As you can see with my posts, for example, community posts, once a month I post one channel that I like, that I think that needs a little bit of love. Which is one thing I don't understand why big channels don't do that. Like you could just in community posts just post like a channel that you like. But yeah, I like to get there, and that's what maybe connecting to the podcast. I've noticed that a lot of podcasts out there as well, they're like go a little bit underground, and it's kind of interesting to know what they're doing. And most of them just kind of die out, because you need a lot of stamina to just keep going. Because you will get nothing, right? You can be doing podcasting for a while and you get nothing. And it's only through perseverance and maybe being a little bit insane that you're gonna get anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Like from personal experience, obviously, all this podcast and trash talk is my second priority channel.
Yeah,
And I run my other channel, Samuel 15K, and I just post like commentary and do whatever.
yeah,
But obviously, with this, Trash Talk has sort of built up a reputation of being the most consistent podcast in
yeah.
among commentary, because like they don't post enough. They post
Hmm.
one, and then they post one in another 2 months, and it just doesn't work. So like you have to keep posting like once a week to like keep that audience there.
What was the by those big creators? I forgot with Clown, the the bait the bait podcast or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, yeah, the baited podcast, yeah.
Beta podcast, like, yeah, you guys clearly do not work together. But then again, on the other side, from that spawned the Cold Ones, and Cold Ones is
Mhm.
very consistent.
Yeah, like consistency is key in anything, but in podcasting, I think it's especially key because like one podcast like a month is nothing.
Yeah.
Like so, yeah, it does not compare.
It's not on my channel anymore, it's on a second channel, but I did a bunch of interviews, and I'd also kind of had my podcast as well. But one of
Hmm.
the things is, it's always a game of how much energy do you want to spend on a project, right? If
Yeah.
podcasting for you is easy, where you like record, you upload, you have all your visuals already lined up, it's fine. What I was doing is I was going through all the footage again, and like editing in such a way that it doesn't have pauses and and so it was very tiring, and it took like basically 2 or 3 days of work that I could have done on videos away.
Hmm.
So I just decided I can't do this. Like, I need to focus on something else, which is the same
Yeah.
reason why I stopped streaming. Like, streaming takes a lot of energy, and you feel exhausted. You cannot
Hmm.
write, you cannot edit videos. You feel exhausted to the point that you just can't work on anything else. People that do it, applaud to them. Like, Jesus Christ, you have energy. You have
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
energy.
Literally. Like I did streaming a bit at the beginning of the year, and I lasted like a week before I had to quit. Like I just couldn't do
Yeah.
it. And I do agree with you with the podcast stuff, especially like with editing long form content and doing that. Because when I started off doing like podcasts on a different channel, I try and edit out all of the spaces as well, and it takes me hours and days.
Hmm.
Realistically, it should only take me like 10-20 minutes of just bleeping a few words if the guest wants it cut out. Like
Yeah.
realistically, like it doesn't need to be like super condensed edited.
I think it fell off there right there. What?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
but yeah, for you and your content, where do you see yourself going in the next like year or so?
Oh, someone asked me that. So clearly I need to go back, have a day job, which I do not want, but money pays bills.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get a day job, hopefully part-time, because I would say the YouTube channel, if I release every week a video, could pay for like a month's rent, maybe,
Hmm.
like depending on the video, depending how the video does.
Hmm.
Um, I would be like, I said this to someone that asked me that. I would be happy if I release maybe 2 to 4 videos a month, and those pay for rent,
Yeah.
for rent and all the stuff. If I break even, if it's zero, I'm fine with that. I don't give a shit.
Hmm.
I just want to not go to work regularly because I like this more. Because last year I was working in a company as like a front end developer, and
Hmm.
let's say I was about to oof myself.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
so I said I can't do this. I said I'm gone. I had saved up a bit of money, so they have no problem with that. And then I said I'm gone. I don't gonna work here, and I started doing the whole thing. Like, the PB video happened in the meantime when I was transitioning from when I was moving from the other city where I worked to work closer to my parents, and then that's where
Hmm.
the PB video came from. So it's kind of like cosmic cosmic appearance, kind of like a cosmic coincidence that the video that is directly the one that came after I stopped working was the one that blew up. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
No. 100%.
but the end goal is pay rent. That's it for now,
Hmm.
at least.
So for you, you just basically want to get to a point where your videos can sustain you, like for like a month or so, like each
Yeah,
time every month,
yeah,
which I guess is like a completely valid goal. I think that's like what everyone wants to do. They want to be able to cover their rent with videos and stuff. Like, and then obviously, if your channel gets more successful, you've got a bit more extra money to put to the side
exactly.
or to do whatever you want with. And I'm gonna like ask one last question. And that is like for you, with all of this stuff that's going on, would you ever like consider doing any other outside projects, like other than your main channel, or are you really solely focused on that?
So my problem is that I like to focus down on one project so I get it done. One of the
Hmm.
things that a lot of people do is they start various different projects and never get it done,
Yeah.
which is something I used to do when like I wrote 2, 3 scripts, but I never worked out one script until it
Hmm.
was done. And when I started doing the whole, I'm gonna sit down, doesn't matter how long it takes, I'm gonna sit down and only focus on this one.
Yeah.
I became more productive, and I got shit done, which is
Hmm.
something that a lot of people fall into when they have like they have something that works out for them. They want to make it better, better, and better, but they don't focus on one thing down. They like their attention is separated. So even if I want, like for example, I'm thinking about streaming again, but when I'm thinking about streaming, like these are gonna be hours where where I'm gonna exhaust myself and it's not gonna go anywhere because YouTube's
Yeah.
algorithm when it comes to like promoting streams is shit. And on Twitch you're not gonna get anywhere. It's
Yeah.
the key to success on Twitch is to already have success.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Or be
But
friends with someone that is successful.
yeah, literally. And I guess with streaming and stuff, you'd always have that thing of the fact that, oh yeah, if I stream for 3 hours, that's 3 hours of editing and making videos that I could be
Yeah,
possibly like missing out on.
yeah. Not only that,
Um,
it's like it's
yeah,
also these 3 hours are exhausting.
yeah,
They if you do, of course, if you like a like a low energy streamer, of course, but then nobody's gonna click on you. It's like
yeah, yeah,
these 3 hours will knock you out for like at least like a half a day for sure.
yeah. Like it's very like streaming is very tiring. You have to speak to like your chat constantly, which in
Yep.
videos you just don't have to do. You get straight to the
Yeah.
point. Like streaming's such a hassle when it comes to that.
Yeah. It's the
Um,
writing that
yeah,
takes the most amount of part when it comes to my
hmm,
videos. Like that's
yeah,
figuring out how to structure the video so people don't click off,
hmm,
which is which is everyone's goal, kind of, right? Like you want to make a video that nobody clicks off on,
yeah,
and then you have to, even if parts you think, oh, this is really cool, this edit is really cool, you think, will people click off though? So it's like you have to constantly look at your data and see, okay, are people clicking off here and here and here, and then work that in your next script and keep that in mind while editing. So while scripting, you need to keep in mind how it will be edited. Like maybe the song, maybe the certain scene have references so it works faster. So yeah, like, and that I'd rather spend my 3 hours doing that than streaming, because after streaming I will be tired and not be able to do anything. And after 3 hours of scripting, I will have at least like at something that I can then record later and edit.
yeah, 100%. And I guess when like writing scripts and doing videos and stuff, it doesn't get that tiring because if you do start to get tired, you can always just take a step
Yeah,
back and break. Where in streaming, if you just disappeared for like 20 minutes, it'd be a bit weird.
everyone is gone. Yeah,
Yeah, literally, you come back and there's no one like on there. But I do appreciate you coming on the podcast, like
no
truly.
problem. No problem.
Uh, and obviously, of course, like every episode of Trash Talk, all your links to all your stuff will be down below if anyone wants to go and check it out. But anyways, I've been your host Samuel, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Trash Talk.